for Team USA before the Summer Olympics in Paris. LeBron finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Team USA was 5-0 in their practice games. They head to Paris today. First Olympic game is Sunday against Serbia, led by a center named Nikola Jokic. Vice President Kamala Harris was presidential Monday morning at the White House. She welcomed a group of NCAA athletes and coaches who won championships on the Division I, II, and III levels during the 2023-24 season. Harris stepped in to honor the athletes in place of President Joe Biden, who's at home in Delaware recovering from COVID. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Editorial, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
What a difference a day made. 24 little hours.
I'm Tavis Smiley. Time now for a conversation that I'm always looking forward to with our regular contributor, Connie Rice. Ran down the hallway right quick, and as I was running back to the studio, I heard Miles say, Miss Connie, Miles, my board op, of course, Miss Connie, how you feeling today? What song should I play you on with? And this is the song that Connie chose to be played on with. Turn it up, Miles. I'm going to ask Connie why she chose it. 1 second.
Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, Lord, what a difference a day makes.
Connie, why did you choose Dinah Washington? What a difference a day makes.
Listen, in 24 hours, we have a whole new game. What a difference 24 hours makes.
Yeah, I figured that was the frame you were in. I figured that was the frame.
It was between. Yeah, it was between what a difference a day make and celebrate.
I love that. I love that Secretary Jay Johnson was on earlier, former Homeland Security Secretary. He actually hosts a music show on WBGO, one of my favorite stations in Newark, New Jersey. He hosts a weekly music show there, and who knew? I mean, I know, but most people don't know that the Secretary of Homeland Security also hosts a radio show. And who knew that the erudite Connie Rice could pick out songs to be played on with and have choices, no less. Dinah Washington or Kool and the Gang. There's a huge expanse between those two talents, Dinah Washington and two different. I mean, both talented, but two different kinds of artists. One singular, one a group, of course. But I'm just tickled that Connie knows music. I didn't know that Connie knew music that way. You learn something. You learn something every day. Let me just ask you though, what you make of that 24-hour period that you were making reference to?
New game and game on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they talk about the 15-week dash. We really have a 10-week dash now.
Right.
So get your Nikes on. Get your Nikes on. So, I mean, this is a disruption. This disrupts the frame we were in, okay? Because they were on a glide path to disaster with Biden not understanding that it wasn't 2020 anymore. He beat Trump barely in 2020. In 2024, the landscape has been structured even more against our side. Our side meaning progressive, moving forward into the future, not going back to the 1920s. That, for folks who want multiracial democracy and to perfect this union and force the Constitution to apply to African Americans and all kinds of other folks to whom it doesn't apply right now. That vision of moving forward into the 21st century, if you believe in that, then that's what I mean by our side. And so, in one brave, courageous, George Washington level decision to let go of power, the most power any one person can have in the world is the presidency of the United States. And to let that go, you just need to acknowledge Joe Biden did what he's always done. Yeah. It took him a little while, and he dug his heels in. But he cares about this democracy, and he paved the way for a new generation of leaders. It's not who you and I would choose, Tavis. I think we're a little more progressive. We have a more radical economic agenda. But given the frame we're in of being on the verge of tipping into autocracy, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
Getting Kamala Harris in there is a game changer.
Let me just ask you point blank, and I've not asked this of any of my other guests, so no surprise that I want to pose it to Connie, particularly and especially given what she just said. But let me just pause for a second here and spend a minute or two on this. What does it mean to you? It was Frederick Douglass who once said that power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. Power concedes nothing without a demand, never has, never will. What do you make of a white male giving up that kind of power? It's just worth pausing for a second because we don't see this often. Here is a white male, an entitled white male, giving up not just power, but the most powerful perch in the world. How do you read that part?
It's extraordinary, and it's historic. George Washington did the same thing. The reason that we even started this 240-year experiment in Republican democracy, this Madisonian framework of checks and balances and rule of law and equality before the law, and at the same time we were founded on slavery and women's subjugation and everything. This, the United States is a tale of both cities.
Yeah.
It's both and. It's not either or. And I don't know why we try to act like it's either or. It's a great country founded in some great truths and also some horrific, horrible lies and injustices. And so with all of that said, when you give up that kind of power, you're up there with Cincinnatus. You're up there with George Washington. You are up there in the pantheon of people who will fall on their swords so that more people can be free.
I know this.
And you need to understand that.
I'm not naive. I know the question I just posed, and I respect the brilliant answer that Connie just gave. But I hear some of you, I can hear you thinking, Tavis, he didn't jump, he got pushed. I hear your point. That's really not true. He did get pushed. He got pushed. He got pressed. But he could have, and that's my point. The point of my question. He could have just been recalcitrant and said, "I'm not doing it." He could have, but for him to voluntarily, even though he was under some pressure, I'm just still, pausing for a moment because again, you don't see this very often. No matter what frame you're in, you don't often see a white male giving up the reins to that kind of power. And that deserves a little conversation in and of itself. And so we move forward now. Our regular contributor is Connie Rice. Pleased to have her on. A lot more ground to cover with her when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys.
Let's take our auntie to the swap meet.
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Securing your firearms protects lives. Pick up your free gun safety lock at select LA County libraries and hospitals. Learn more about other gun safety measures you can take to keep our families and communities safe. Visit lacountygunsafety.org or call 1-833-540-0473 for more resources on gun safety. Together, we can save lives.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
We have a historic opportunity to get into office the first woman, the first black woman, the first Asian woman in America to represent us. But it's not simply about the titles. It's not about the magnificent, if you will, sexiness of being the first. It is about on-the-ground commitment to our people and the ability to tell the truth about what's happening in America. Joe Biden passed the torch to her. Joe Biden has done more in his first term than many presidents have done in 2 terms. And the fact that he gave that baton to Kamala Harris means that she has the integrity, the inspiration, and the imprimatur of the guy who did a great work to give it to this woman now who is able to take that baton across the finish line. And I'm so
Michael Eric Dyson, just a little taste of Michael Eric Dyson talking last night on this call that featured 56,000 black men, where over $1 million were raised in support of Kamala Harris. You hear Dyson signing off on what Connie Rice and our guest right now were just discussing, what it means for a white male to give up that kind of power. We'll be joined by Michael Eric Dyson and the Reverend Jamal Bryant on the backside of this hour, talking about that call last night. And Connie, the endorsements continue to roll in. As we speak right now, I'm told that Chuck Schumer, the majority leader in the Senate, and Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, are live on television, network television right now, cable television, endorsing Kamala Harris together. That's a nice little look. Schumer and Jeffries together right now on TV, endorsing Kamala Harris. Mark Morial and the Urban League have come out in support of Kamala Harris, I am told, and I see that one George Clooney got his mind right, and George Clooney has just come out now and endorsed Kamala Harris. So everybody seems to be lining up behind her, behind her, Connie. I like that. I like to see people closing ranks and lining up, but you and I both know that this is the honeymoon. And it's going to get ugly and vicious down the road. Maxine Waters and I were talking about that yesterday. You and I have discussed it many, many times about the state of this democracy, political violence, which Jay Johnson and I discussed earlier in this program. Tell me how much darker this night is going to get. How much of the night side of America are we going to see once we get past this honeymoon phase where everybody, not Barack Obama yet, but everybody is lining up behind Kamala Harris?
Yeah, she's about to get tossed into a viper's nest.
Yeah.
It's not an election. You and I have talked about that. This ain't an election.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem. Most of the mainstream Democrats think they're doing a presidential election. No. There are no rules on the other side. They're going to end the Constitution. I'm just saying that this is a fight to the death for democracy. Okay, This is Thunderdome. All right, it's not a Tea Party. This is the Thunderdome. Understand where you are.
Right.
So I think a prosecutor probably has a better sense of being able to go into battle because prosecutors are basically gladiators. Civil rights litigators, Thurgood Marshall, Elaine Jones, Julius Chambers, we're all litigators. Litigators are gladiators, all right? And so are prosecutors. So we're used to getting it's not with bullets and lances and stuff, but it's with paper. It's war with paper. And when you have a warrior's outlook, it means you can engage in battles and challenges in ways that normal folks can't. And that's what I'm counting on with her. I have interacted with Vice President Harris over the gang violence reduction strategies that we've been doing in L.A. I mean, you're in Lamert Park. You'll notice there aren't a lot of drive-by shootings anymore. Well, that's our work, okay? Right.
Thank you.
But Kamala Harris flew us up to Sacramento and said, okay, what is this stuff you're doing? How did you get that homicide, the gang homicide rate down? And we engaged, and I immediately said she's extremely strategic. She is very thoughtful. She's calculating. And I said, okay, this girl's got the chops, all right. She might not be as good a debater as I am, but, this girl's got the chops.
I love it.
And I said, yeah, I disagree with her straight. But she's a politician. I'm not a politician. Kamala Harris is a politician. She knows strategically what she has to do, and she may agree with people like us, Tavis, but in order to get the power to even do the amount of good that you can get in a hostile resurgence of white nationalism, because that's the frame we're in, you can get less done, which is why what she and Biden did together, passing massive pieces of legislation that make a real impact in people's lives, that shouldn't have been possible given the frame that we're in.
Yeah.
With retraction of civil rights, women's rights, a Supreme Court that has MAGA sleeper cells.
Yeah.
We're in a bad frame right now.
Yep.
And those two accomplished more since FDR, more than any other president since FDR.
To the point you made a moment ago about your gang intervention work and Kamala's support of that and curiosity about that and wanting to embrace that and scale that up when she was Attorney General here in the state of California, and then, of course, on to the U.S. Senate, and now, of course, in the White House and maybe in the big chair in the coming months, we shall see. There's a number of things starting to float around about her. Clearly, the MAGA forces, Donald Trump and his sycophants, are going to have their say. You laid that out quite nicely. It's going to get ugly. We are going to, as I said earlier, see the night side of America. And yet, to your other point, that Kamala might not have been the choice that you or I made, and you're right about that. I mean, we're more progressive than Kamala is. She certainly is better than Donald Trump. Let me be abundantly clear about that. If I got to choose between her and Trump, there ain't no choice there. I'm with Connie in that regard, if those are my choices. But there are those who are more progressive, like Connie and yours truly. And I've been seeing a number of memes, a number of posts circulating from the progressive side about their concerns about Kamala, even as they acknowledge she's better than Donald Trump. And these are some of the issues that you sort of tapped on a moment ago, Connie, that I want to get your take on. I'm just looking at one of the posts that came to me last night. As prosecutor, Kamala neglected cases involving police shootings. As prosecutor, she built her career prosecuting black and brown people for drug use. And there are a number of other bullets on this document that I'm looking at right now. My point is that there are progressives. Let's just keep it real. The honeymoon is going to end at some point. There are progressives who do not think she is progressive enough to have earned their vote, and these are some of the issues they're raising. Connie Rice.
Okay, they're going to earn Trump the presidency. See, I'm ruthlessly practical. Okay, I'm not an idealistic person. I don't sit up there dreaming about freedom. No. I understand the country I'm in. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm ruthlessly practical. If you objected to her, I went inside the police department to get a progressive police chief, and I know people don't think there's any such thing. You can't change the police from the outside. You can march and sue and legislate and do everything you want to do from the outside. I've done all that. and done it probably better than most people in the country. You don't change cops that way. You have to go inside, and you have to infiltrate. Okay, all right. So I, for the folks who think that they have the luxury of choosing somebody they really like, they need to go to another country. They need to go to South Africa. This is not South Africa. We are a minority. We do not hold power. We have to leverage. We have to build alliances. We have to get political strategies to get power. We have to use other people's power to get stuff done for our people. That's what we've always had to do. We're not in South Africa. So, it's never been about choosing somebody we wanted, ever.
Yeah.
A white supremacist freed the slaves. That's the country we're in. I revere Abraham Lincoln. The man was a white supremacist. He was also someone who understood that in order to save this union and this experiment in democracy, he had to free the slaves. And in order for him to win the Civil War, he had to free the slaves. And Ben Franklin, another genius founder, owned slaves, never freed his slaves, was anti-black until his wife showed him Negro schools, and then he kind of softened the virulent anti-black. But, I'm sorry, we don't have those choices in this country. Our choice is sort of the lesser of two evils. And this is not a lesser of two evils. This is the choice for Obama, okay? Our grandparents and our great-grandparents never thought they would see Obama, and they never thought they would see a Kamala Harris. So let's understand the frame we're in.
To your point now, I've asked this of others, but I'm curious to ask it of you. How are you seeing the ways in which race and gender are going to play out in this campaign?
I think it's going to be more gender than race, okay? And maybe compound. For us, it's both, especially for black women. But for the national political strategy, this is about women. This is about women's freedom to control their bodies and make their reproductive choices. This is about women losing a 50-year right to have reproductive freedom and not have Mitch McConnell in their OBGYN examination room. It is about making sure. I mean, you've got J.D. Vance, the vice presidential nominee, candidate now, and he is backed by Silicon toxic male Peter Thiel, who actually thinks that women should never have gotten the vote. And J.D. Vance says that women who have batterers, domestic batterers for spouses and partners ought to stay there and get their brains beaten in. You shouldn't leave your man even if he beats you. So we're talking about a barefoot and pregnant caucus going all the way back to the 1800s for women. And what the coalition is not going to be the coalition that elected Biden and Harris in 2020. It's going to be a coalition of the democracy forward folks. That has to get suburban white women in Bucks County, Atlanta, and New Jersey, all the cities in New Jersey. You've got to get suburban white women, like the women in Kentucky who voted for abortion rights and shocked the Dickens out of the GOP infrastructure in Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio. Those white women came to the polls and said, oh, no, we're not going back to the back alleys. This is a we're not going back campaign. We're not going back to the back of the bus. Gay people are not going back in the closet. Women are not going back to back alleys for abortions with coat hangers. We're not going back. Y'all can go back if you want to. You can have a little white Kekistan where it's all white and you people don't have to look at anybody with, who has power, who's female, or anybody African American or Latino or Native American. You don't have to go forward with the Benetton coalition. You can go back. We're not going back. Let
me ask you. Look at my clock. I got 4 minutes to go. I want to ask you 2 questions that you and I have sort of debated before, not really, but now we're, to use your phrase, in this frame. So these issues are more relevant now than they were weeks ago when we were sort of red teaming this in case it came to this moment. It has come to this moment. She's going to be the Democratic nominee after getting those delegates last night. 2 questions, and I'll yield the last 3.5 minutes to you, and I'll shut up. Number 1, tell me now, on the record, we got it on tape, we'll play it back in November, whether or not you believe that white women, broadly speaking, are going to get Kamala Harris's back. I share with you now, as I said before, there is no historical moment ever, as I've read history, where white women have gotten the backs of black women. And if I'm wrong, tell me what you're looking at. I ain't never seen it in my read of history. And number two, there is no historical reference for anybody walking away from the presidency this close to Election Day and that party winning. Both of those questions are obviously devil's advocate questions. Give it to me, Connie Rice.
Hey, listen, we're in no precedent moment, no playbook, uncharted waters. Not just uncharted, we're in uncharted white water. So we're just trying to stay in the canoe. Okay?
We are white water rafting right about now. White water rafting.
About to go over the waterfall.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And no playbook for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So bottom line, it's too early to tell. It depends on whether she gets out of the blocks like a whirlwind, defining herself. If Trump and Vance define her, she's dead in the water with everybody. She's got to get out there. Look at the smooth transition everybody said wasn't possible. She's almost there. She's already got the nomination. They have done a smooth transition. Number one, she has to define herself. She has to build the power infrastructure to carry a national campaign, and she's got very little time to do it. It is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But right now, I think that because of the emergency moment, like there was an emergency moment with the economic collapse that hurled Obama over the hurdle, I think this might be a similar momentum. If you have women of color and African Americans about to take power, it's only during a crisis that it happens at the national level. And I can't tell you right now whether she's going to position herself to ride that wave.
Yep. Let me ask you right quick. I still got a minute and a half. To your point about white women, if you were helping her, if she were consulting with you about how she can appeal to that particular part of the voting base, voting block, what's the reproductive rights, I get it. Beyond that, is there something else on the list of bullet points to make that appeal effectively?
We have daughters, and we're standing on the front lines for our daughters. Women will get that. She that's all she has to do is say, we're not, our daughters and our sons need a 21st century vision. We're moving this country forward. We need shared prosperity. We need to do what Martin Luther King Jr. said, which is to radically reconstruct this economy to serve both the poor and the middle class. Now, notice she's very practical. She came out talking about the middle class because that's what mainstream America needs to hear. They don't want to hear about poor people. But you and Reverend Barber and all of us who understand if you don't do it from the bottom up, it ain't gonna work for the middle class.
That's
right. We can tag on to that.
Right.
We can just make sure we tag on the legislation that also helps the poor. Yeah. So I'm hopeful, Tavis, but I can't. My crystal ball is a little cloudy right now. I got to see how she gets out the block.
Nope, we both feel the same way about that, but we both also agree that far better option than Donald Trump. No debate about that. And don't ever get my devil's advocate questions twisted, y'all. This is my job, to press us on these issues and to keep us awake, aware, alert, and focused, and I would not apologize for that. I got Connie Rice on speed dial, and she'll be on frequently, as she always is, but certainly more frequently between now and November. Connie, good to have you on. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Great to be with you. Take care.
When we come forward, as promised, a conversation with some of the brothers who were on the call last night. 56,000 black men in support of Kamala Harris. Michael Eric Dyson is on the phone. Jamal Bryant is on the phone. Who else is on the phone? We'll see when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
We'd like to welcome you on Into a Tuesday. It is July 23rd. I'm Mike Moore. Now, here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Neo-Nazi groups are causing additional controversy in Middle Tennessee. The Minority Caucus of Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County is issuing a statement condemning the actions of a group of white men who are accused of yelling racial slurs at black children downtown this past weekend. Significant lifestyle changes may be the key to slowing or reversing Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. That's according to a team of doctors who believe sleep optimization, mindfulness practices, and supplements to support gut health are among the lifestyle changes proving to show improved cognitive function for some patients. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Generators aren't something you turn on each day, but when you do, they must be reliable. SoCal businesses have turned to Duthie Power for almost 60 years to keep emergency power systems maintained and serviced. See the generator experts at DuthiePower.com. That's DUTHIE Power.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At age 39, even in the summertime, LeBron James proved he can still deliver when the game is on the line. LeBron scored the last 11 points for Team USA to help pull out a 4-point win over Germany in an exhibition game in London. It was the final tune-up for Team USA before the Summer Olympics in Paris. LeBron finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Team USA was 5-0 in their practice games. They head to Paris today. First Olympic game is Sunday against Serbia, led by a center named Nikola Jokic. Vice President Kamala Harris was presidential Monday morning at the White House. She welcomed a group of NCAA athletes and coaches who won championships on the Division I, II, and III levels during the 2023-24 season. Harris stepped in to honor the athletes in place of President Joe Biden, who's at home in Delaware recovering from COVID. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
All right, now a few guests, as promised, about this black men for Kamala Harris call last night. 56,000 Negroes last night. 56,000 black men on this call last night. If they could manage 56,000 last night in the less than half hour that I have, I hope I can manage 3. If they did 56,000, I think I can manage 3. The 3 are James Patterson, who's a columnist for the Philadelphia Citizen, and one of my colleagues on WURD. I am pleased to be heard in syndication across the country on WURD every evening, and James Patterson hosts a program there. He was on the call last night. We'll talk to him in just a moment. Our friend and brother at Vanderbilt University, Michael Eric Dyson, was on the call last night. You know that because earlier on today's program, I played a clip of Dyson killing it last night on this call. So you've already heard the voice of the M to the E to the D on this program already today from last evening. And our friend and brother at New Birth in Atlanta, the Reverend Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, is on this call as well. And you all recall when he went viral a couple years ago, we don't need a walker, we need a runner. Give it to me, Miles.
In 2022, we don't need a walker, we need a runner. We need somebody who gonna run and tell the truth about January 6th. We need somebody who gonna run and push for the cancellation of student loan debts. We need somebody who gonna run and make the former president respond to a subpoena. We don't need a walker, we need somebody who will be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Georgia, I need you to know the slave Negroes y'all are used to don't live here no more. We can think for ourselves, function for ourselves, and vote for ourselves. Why? Because we don't need a walker.
I got 3 bad black men. I'm pleased to have them all on this program. Let me work this out the best way I can in these less than 20 minutes. Reverend Jamal Harrison Bryant, my friend and brother, how are you today, sir?
Wonderfully well. Thank you for letting me in with the Migos. I'm glad to be in the circle.
Michael Eric Dyson, the M to the E to the D. How are you, sir?
I guess I'm all set. But look, I'm here. Wait a minute. I was just trying to figure out how to write Jamal Bryant a check. I'm sorry. I was trying to spell his name right because that Negro right there. Wait a minute. We got Dr. James Peterson on the line.
Yeah.
We got Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant on the line. I'm just glad to be the cleanup man to help with issues.
And Brother Peterson, how are you today, sir? Good to have you on as well.
Brother Tavis, as you know, I'm the real cleanup guy here. I ain't even a part of the Migos. I'm just in the entourage.
let me jump in, all jokes aside, and make the most of our time. It is really, really tight here in this half hour. Jamal,
I got to say something before you even start. I got to say something. This is family. I want to say something because I don't want history to negate something, and Eric, you were there. Tavis Smiley deserves his flowers because what nobody is going to record is Tavis Smiley introduced Kamala to Black America. Mm-hmm. Is that many years ago in the state of Black America, you brought Kamala onto the stage to be a panelist to know about crime. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew who she was, where she came from, and I wanted to just thank you because many prophets are not celebrated until after they pass. But while you're yet living, I wanted to really just thank you for opening the stage for so many black thinkers and so many black leaders. So, Tavis, before we even talk about it, I just wanted to say thank you for what you've done.
You are too kind. It's my great honor. To whom much is given, of them much is expected, and all I've tried to do over the years is to use the platform I have to expose the nation to brilliant minds like Michael Eric Dyson many times on the State of the Black Union, Jamal Bryant on State of the Black Union, and all the other programs I've had access to, just trying to showcase the best of our people. It sounds to me, Jamal, that last night did in fact showcase some of the brightest black male minds in America. What did it feel like quickly to be on that call last night?
It felt like the Million Man March had come to technology. They had 50,000 black men unified around one purpose with an executable action item. We put aside all denomination affiliations. For some moments, we put aside Grecan affiliations. But we were to see black men come together, albeit online, really was heartwarming and inspiring. I know what it means symbolically for black women to see a sister arise, but for black men to really come in to provide and to protect and to serve were just overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was great.
Michael Eric Dyson, I said earlier, we treated the audience to some of your brilliance last night, your brilliance and your typical alliteration that I love so much, that tickles me so much. You went in last night as you always do. How did it feel for you to be a part of that historic call last night?
Well, I'm just glad you played me before you played Jamal Harris and Brian Doc. That's all I'm saying. And Tavis introduced Kamala Harris to make up for introducing us to Bishop Don Juan. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. No, it was remarkable. You know why? Because black men too often have been implicated in a conspiracy of silence about the greatness of black women and an overt denunciation of their possibilities and potentials because they want them to defer uncritically to us. And so when we see black men, some 56,000, stand up in one voice and say that this is the woman that the Lord has chosen, if we can go to that language here. I ain't no Bishop Harrison Bryant there, but I'm telling you, it seemed to be, when I was upset with some of the leaders who said, well, we're going to wait. We don't want it to be a coronation. I ain't never heard that language before. You wasn't upset with that when it was Clinton or Obama. Why is it now that when Kamala Harris comes about, you are withholding your acclamation because you call it a coronation? We're not in a British culture or the hegemony of a dominant empire. We are in America, where her organic rise has made her who she is today. And I thank God that black men were able to step up, not for Becky, but for Beulah, and to celebrate our achievement.
And that's Michael Eric Dyson. Is that alliteration? I told you it was coming, not Becky, but Beulah. Michael, I want to hold that thought. I want to come back to you on this notion of the Lord has chosen Kamala Harris. The same is being said about Donald Trump, particularly as he survived that assassination attempt. Is it either or? Is it both? You know I'm coming back to you on that, so just get ready for that in a second. And I'm sure Jamal Bryant will want some of that as well, being that he's in the pulpit every Sunday. Did the Lord choose both of these people? We'll talk about that. James Peterson, how did it feel for you last night, sir, being on that call?
It was extraordinary, Tavis. I mean, first of all, Pastor Jamal and Dr. Dyson were the bookends of the call. So Pastor Jamal blessed us in the beginning. He set the table. He helped to generate the kind of electric excitement that was going to be there on the call in the first place. Dyson was towards the latter. And so literally you got the bookends of one of the most powerful campaign calls, if you will, in there. But there were so many testimonies. I invite people to go see Bakari Sellers' testimony where he talked about Vice President Kamala Harris being the first person to call him when his daughter was facing mortal consequences in infancy. The legacy of the stories that black men were telling, not just about Kamala Harris, but about the work that's ahead. And it's important for us to say here as well, Tavis, money was raised for the campaign for Vice President Harris, yes, but money was also raised for every black grassroots organization led by men who were affiliated with the call. So these organizations that are Get Out the Vote, the Black Male Vote Matters, engaging black men in the communities that we all lived in, also all benefited from this convention of black men, the likes of which we haven't seen, I don't think, in any campaign in my lifetime.
Yeah. Both Reverend Jamal Harrison Bryant and the Reverend Dr. Michael Eric Dyson are ordained. Both are ordained, and so I want to get right quick into that formulation that Dyson put out there earlier. He went there. I'm going to follow him when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Taran, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Taran unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Taran, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Karen Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could AG Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Taran for her role in DA George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could DA Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as DA? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Karen Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Taran's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
My time is getting tight, Michael Eric Dyson. You went there. Let me follow you. I've been expressing my own concern about the fact that many of Donald Trump's sycophants, his followers, have ascribed to him some sort of messianic powers these days. Here you come now telling me that Kamala is God's woman of the hour. So if she's the woman of the hour, did he also appoint Donald Trump? And if so, we can't have both of them.
Well, Jesus did say, "I have disciples in places you don't know." Now, so you got more than one denomination. You got more than one God. You might have a Cadillac, I might have a Ford, but we're trying to get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, I'm glad I'm speaking before the homiletical genius of Dr. Bryant, because I'm a jackleg. But let me tell you this: that Martin Luther King Jr. said, "When I look at their churches," speaking of these white supremacists,
yes,
I ask, who is their God? Tavis, I am an atheist to the people who believe that God has appointed Donald Trump. I am an atheist to a religion that claims that this man who has done the most damage to the presidency in the history of this nation, this man who is a convicted felon, this man who is a convicted sexual assaulter, this man who is a fraudster and a liar, that this man has been blessed by God without repentance. So in his present state, quote, of sin, he has seen fit to suggest that God has blessed him. So I say by ending by saying this. When I say about God and Kamala, I'm talking about people who adjust themselves to the measure of an almighty, who adjust themselves to the measure of justice, truth, and democracy in our nation. That's what I meant by God blessing her. If it's a choice between them two, God got her all day.
Take me a little higher, Reverend Bryant. Take me a little higher. Reverend Bryant. Miles. I can't hear Reverend Bryant. Jamal, did you?
The Lord has spoken.
Yeah,
the Lord has spoken, and what I said is the final word. But
yeah. Jamal, you may have pressed your mute button on your phone. I don't know. Do you? You still there, Jamal?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I got you, brother. Take me higher. Go.
Yeah. James Cone was cornered by his students before he passed, and said what white America has done to black people is what the black church has done to women. And that after you deal with racism, you have to deal with sexism in the church. And I am afraid that the black church has been slow to do the endorsements of Dr. Dyson, that while our political leaders have run to the front, I've not heard a whole lot from our faith leaders. And they're going to be called into accountability because they don't want her to stand behind the seal because a lot of black churches don't let black women stand behind the pulpit. And so I think that this is going to be a real detoxification of the whole community on how it is that we regard our women and how it is that we affirm them.
That is a vexing phenomenon. What's your sense of how this is going to play out, Jamal Bryant? Always, you put your finger on the pulse, brother. Now answer the question, how is it going to play out? That's a vexing dilemma.
It's a revolution from the pews because the black church is 80% women, but the mosque is 80% men. And so we're going to have to figure out how it is that we really tide the turns when we still haven't seen DEI in the black church.
Lord
so I think it's going to be a revolution from the ground up.
We'll hear more from James Peterson when we come forward. This is getting deep. I wish I had hours just for this. Such is the case when you get three brilliant black men on one phone call. Jamal Harrison Bryant, Michael Eric Dyson, and the aforementioned James Peterson, who you'll hear from when we come forward in our remaining moments with all three of them here on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom. If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Finding a path to a meaningful career, one where you're making an impact and making enough money, it can be tough. There's one path, though, that many young adults are landing on that leads them to careers where they can work outdoors, protect our environment, take on climate change, and get paid while they train. It's the California Conservation Corps. You just have to be 18 through 25 years old to enroll, or a U.S. military veteran through age 29, and you have to be a California resident. That's it. There's no education requirement, no employment history needed. Some Corps members need to finish up high school. Others are college grads. But during their 1 year of service, all CCC Corps members can earn the work experience and certifications needed to become a wildland firefighter, forestry technician, install solar, or build trails in our state parks. Learn how you can enroll at ccc.ca.gov. Do this for you. Become the person you want to be through the California Conservation Corps.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
James Peterson, you do on the air at WURD what I do here every day in this nationally syndicated program, sit behind a microphone and try to make sense of all of this. Over the next 15 weeks, 10 weeks that are really, really urgent, how are you parsing what you expect to happen in November, given that we now know who these two combatants are?
Well, I think it's going to be an exciting moment. A lot of folks are going to try to liken this to 2008, Tavis, but what I'm going to be saying to my listeners is that actually the stakes are higher in 2024 than they were in 2008. The lift is heavier in 2024 than they were in 2008. And last night's Win with Black Men conversation is the beginning of a conversation that black men are going to have within our own community amongst ourselves about the charge before us. You know, we've seen some of the polls say black men drifting towards Trump.
Yeah.
We know that misogyny is a big challenge in our community. We're going to be hearing people ask, well, white people vote for Kamala Harris, but black men have to ask each other, will black men vote for Kamala Harris? And that's a key question. Whether you support her or not, there's still a key question to ask. Can we overcome our past, overcome the systems of patriarchy that we were all socialized in to understand and step up to this particular moment? So I'm excited to be on WRD every day talking to black folks about these issues. And part of my platform, Tavis, as you know, is to let them talk.
Sure.
Let black folks conjecture. Let black folks engage. And in fact, shameless plug here, Tavis, but I'm going to talk to your engineer about getting the audio from this segment so I can play it on my airwaves on WRD tonight.
You have my permission to use my IP on your program today, brother. I've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to split it between Dyson and Bryant. Dr. Dyson, you first. What say you about all these stories that Donald Trump is going to siphon off a significant slice of black male voters?
He ain't doing that. The ones who were with him already.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't getting no new votes. And Dr. Bryan has already indicated the persistent patriarchy, the pathological sexism, and the mordant misogyny that is characteristic of our culture has to be confronted. So he gonna get them knuckleheads. He gonna get those fools. But we always had them everywhere. Harriet Tubman saw them too. What'd she do? She knocked them out. She drug them to freedom. And the ones she couldn't knock out and drag to freedom, she left behind. So what we got to do is say, dog, either you're with us or you're against us. We gonna ride. Hope you ride with us.
Dyson, right quick. When we see this time and time again, we know it implicitly, but when we see it explicitly time and time again, her bringing out her white husband and her white stepkids, how do black men process that, this interracial relationship?
You had a shot, you didn't take it. Don't be mad that somebody made it. The point is that she was with many black men, according to rumor and reality.
Yeah.
They didn't step up, and if you ain't, put a ring on it. If you like it, put a ring on it. If you don't, sing about it later. 90
seconds belong to you, Reverend Jamal Bryant. Give me, in short order, on national radio, the appeal you gave to these black men last night on this call supporting Kamala Harris.
I am an unapologetic mentee of Tavis Smiley, and Tavis Smiley came under criticism for critiquing Barack Obama because we didn't know how to confront Pharaoh when he's black. And so Kamala Harris is still going to have to deal with reparations, going to have to deal with Palestine and the prison pipeline. So while we're mobilizing, power concedes nothing without a demand. Let
me ask you finally, Reverend Bryant, whether or not you are prepared, whether we are prepared as a people for the pushback we're going to get if she succeeds. If we know nothing else, we know that when Barack Obama came in, there was a huge backlash, or a white lash, if you will. The same will happen this time around if she wins this. Are we prepared for that this time around?
The day after the election, they met to block all of his legislation. The good news is we already have an advanced copy of Project 2025, so we know the play. We just got to make sure that the rules stay intact, and so we block every legislative agenda.
And that is how you do it. You get three brilliant black men who know how to roll through a 30-minute conversation. You couldn't get any deeper in less than 30 minutes of real talk than we just did, and I'm grateful to all three of them. Dr. James Peterson, thank you for your time, sir. All the best on your show today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
The M to the E to the D. You know I love you like a fat kid loves cake.
Hey, this is just like 2008, except with a black person.
And Jamal Harrison Bryant, you know I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Big brother.
Love you, man. All right, thank you all. Just like that. That was quick. Now I got to make room for James Clyburn in the next hour with some other guests. But looking forward to James Clyburn. Speaking of brilliant black men, we'll do all that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We'd like to welcome you on Into a Tuesday. It is July 23rd. I'm Mike